It's basic, it's raw, it's just different, and it's a bit like myself, a bit rough around the edges, not the most handsome thing to look at. Everyone says, when are you going to paint it? I said, I'm not painting it. You know, so it's just a fun car, you know, and people look at it and puts a smile on their face. Hi, my name is Gav, and this is my 1949 Volkswagen Beetle. This car was built in late November 1949. It was sold in a place called Würzburg, which is on the eastern side of Germany. It went straight into almost like a paramilitary force. Don't ask me to pronounce it, but it was a border patrol vehicle from 1949 up until about 1956. So it patrolled the Czech-German border at a really interesting and quite terrible period of time just after the Second World War. Originally it was painted this grey colour, and in 1952 to 56 it was painted a dark green colour. It's got some old police relays, and there's some holes in the roof where it had a siren and some flashing lights and things like that. So it's quite a unique car, and I think there's only a couple of them from that paramilitary force still in existence. So again, it was just something else. I love history, and going back to that sort of period just after the Second World War, it fascinated me. The story with vintage cars is I've been interested in them for a long time, ever since I was a kid. I mean, I'm an old school kind of guy. They just have so much more character. They've got a life about them. They might not always get you there, but you know, you have fun getting there, and if you break down, there's always someone to help you. With a modern car, nah, it's not for me. It's a bit of a story my wife will tell you. It's a bit of a rough story, but we had a Valiant Charger, and it was a very nice car, and there were some issues with it that I couldn't seem to see past, and she said, well, if you can find something that's as unique as this, then you can sell the Charger. So I took that as a bit of a challenge. I've had oval window Beetles in the past, and always fancied a split window, and so I hit the Samba. And I saw this in the UK for sale, being a pre-1950s car, a running car, which I thought was pretty good. I kind of jumped on it. For me personally, it's just, especially with this car, it's such a rare one. It's a split window vehicle. It's a pre-50s car. They were never imported into Australia, and I just enjoy talking about it, and enjoy the community around it, and it's just something a bit different, and it's a bit of a talking point where you get to socialise and discuss all things Volkswagen. Why Volkswagens? That's a good question. Often ask myself that quite often, but there's just something about them, you know. They're simple, they're reliable, there's a lot of them, you can get parts for them, and they just put a smile on people's face most of the time when everything's going well. From 1949, when it was built, up until 56, it was a border patrol car. It was sold off in 56, and from 56, I think, until 1967, we don't know much about, but it was ovalised, had the bar cut out of the window, which a lot of them had done to make them more appealing and more modern and more user-friendly, I think. It was painted a bamboo yellow colour with some traces of the paint still in the car, alongside some of the green paint that's still there. And then it ended up going to America from Holland, where it was modified and lowered, and that's where it got its Panscraper look. Then it went to the UK. From there it went through a couple of hands, and I bought it off the second person that owned it in 2017. Sight unseen, obviously. It came out on a boat. I got some videos of it before it left, and it was a bit rough, but obviously not quite as rough as I imagined it to be when it got here. No, I wasn't pleasantly surprised. I was, my wife especially was mortified, and because I told her that it'll be fine, it'll be an on-the-road car, no money needs to be spent. and well, I've probably spent double what I paid for it since to get it to the condition it's in now. It was unfortunately, as I said, a Panscraper, and that's where the car is lowered that much. It drives on the road and all you can see is sparks flying off it, and it basically destroyed the lower 6 inches of the car. So the bottom 6 inches of the car has been rebuilt, and the car's raised up now to its original sort of height. So it's taken a lot of work to get it back to where it is. It's been a real love-hate relationship, but I'm in love with it again now. A lot of work's been done on the car, mainly structural repair work. As I said, the lower 6 inches of the car have been replaced, the floor pans have been replaced, the front beam was damaged, the spare wheel well has been replaced, the back end of the car, A-pillars. Geez, there's been so much done to this car. It's been a real long process, and I've gone through phases where do I restore it? Do I strip away all that history? And I just couldn't do it. I just wanted to keep as much of that history, and although the paint's faded and looks terrible in a lot of people's eyes, to me it's part of the process of the car. It's history. So I wanted to keep as much of that as I could. And the guys that repaired it did a really good job in blending some of the repairs in. So really, unless you have a good look at it, you can't see what's been replaced and repaired. The engine in it was out of a 1952 Beetle, so it was a later engine. So again, I sourced the internet and found engine cases from a 1949 Beetle, which was October 1949. So generally, they're a month ahead of themselves. And a guy called Mark from Fritz Speed in Brookvale, he built the engine. We put a Wolfsburg West Akrasa kit on it. And some internals have been done as well, and it's been bored slightly. So it's about just under a 1300cc engine now. It's got the original early distributor on it, again similar age, 1949 flat top distributor caps. Again, it's just trying to get everything as original as I could. I know there'll be people out there that go, that's not right or this is not right, but it's pretty darn close as far as I'm concerned, and it's enjoyable to drive. And I was talked into putting the Akrasa kit on it again, so you can drive it and try and keep up with modern traffic, because anyone that's got an old Beetle will know it's not much fun with cars up your bum all the time, and you need to be able to keep up with modern traffic, and this one is great. How do I feel when I'm driving this car? Sometimes I'm anxious because it is literally like driving a vintage car. It's got cable brakes, so you have to anticipate what's ahead of you and react a lot earlier than what you would in a modern car. It's got a crash gearbox, so there's no synchro mesh in the gearbox, so you're double shuffling up and down through the gears. And while you're doing that and trying to have an emergency stop with the brakes that it's got, can be quite hair-raising. It gets a lot of mixed reactions. This car, it's one of those things, you either love it or you don't love it. A lot of people like shiny cars. They like the narrowed beams. They like the lowered look. I mean, Volkswagens have gone through so many different evolutions, I guess. You've got the Southern California look, and you've got the rat look, which is this, I guess. But I just like to keep it original. As much as I just wanted to hang on to as much as I could. Unfortunately, we lost a bit of the roof lining, caught fire when it was being repaired, so that had to come out. The seat material wasn't original, so that's been sourced. That's all from Germany. The correct, because it's a standard vehicle, which makes it even rarer. It's not one with all the chrome and glitzy bits on it, so it's a very basic. And they were throwaway cars back in the day. They were made to last for 5 years, and they threw them away in Europe. They just abandoned them. So to find a standard vehicle as well as one this old, it's just it's a gift really, and I just wanted to preserve it. Well, I'm with the Shoal Haven Volkswagen Club, and we've got a good community, and there's a lot of guys around here that we all chip in and help each other, and I'm being very grateful for their support. Although I've got a mechanical background, it's been a long time since I've done any mechanical work really, so just to reach out to people and get a hand, and some of them have never worked or even seen something this old, and it's just been a real exciting time for them to actually work on it, and they've got their cameras out and they're taking photos, and we stand around talking about it, and it's just great. Yeah, a lot of people have got a lot of positive things to say about it.
Is there anyone you thank?
No. I'd like to thank my wife, obviously, because she was right. That it wasn't going to be a quick, simple fix. And like I say, it's been since 2017, so it's been nearly 7 years of hard work, frustration. And she hasn't said "I told you so" that many times, but I know she thinks it. But we are here now with it, and she loves it, and so that's great. But I'd like to thank Mark, who built the engine for it, the guys from the club, you know, Klaus and Dave, and a good friend of mine, Willow, all helped out and keep me motivated. Another good mate of mine, Chris, who keeps me motivated as well by saying don't sell it when the times were tough. When I fell out of love with it, and thankfully no one came up with the money, so it's still here, we still love it, and we just want to get it out now and enjoy it and take it to as many shows as we can, and hear what people have got to say.
That's a wrap, man.
That's it, thank God, done. No, thank you, mate, all the best. Yeah, thank you.